please let me know as well. Welcome to another world building. I'm quite excited about the world building today because this is a character I've sort of been thinking about all week. So I'm just putting some moisturizer on my hands just to avoid any embarrassment. But it's a character I've been thinking about all week, and I wanted to include more characters into the Heathens world. So I was very keen to get more characters involved because it's going to be a 7-book series. And because it's going to be a 7-book series, it was very important for me to create a dynamic between all the characters and just include more characters. Because now I have quite a few characters and main characters and side characters in this book, in this series already, in books 1 and 2. But obviously more characters are going to come into the series as it carries on. And for me, it was important to get to sort of dream up characters and come up with characters that I would say would be instrumental to the plot, okay? Now, I was it was very difficult to sort of think about what I wanted to do because I wasn't quite sure. I knew what I wanted, but I couldn't draw it. And for me, it was very, very important to sort of imagine it, but from another perspective. And luckily, you can get art, you can get stock images. So I got one of these stock images. Now, this is what I'm using today, and it's going to be based around this figure, this image. And I find it absolutely, and if you're going to get any images, try and get the license as well, because, yeah, you're going to be in a whole load of trouble if you don't. But this image just, I found it quite fascinating because it sort of reminds me of sort of West African witchcraft, where it's very, very, like when you compare European witchcraft, where it's very romanticized and sweet and, you know, the witches are mischievous sometimes, or they steal 1 or 2 children. Witchcraft across the world, and particularly in Africa, can be particularly dark. And I have a fascination with, I don't know if you know the Day of the Dead. You know, those, I'm going to amend my messages. Yes, so I don't know if you know the Day of the Dead, and in Mexico, I'm quite fascinated with that as well, because I think that has quite dark origins. But I wanted to create a completely different world, because at the moment a lot of the characters in the books look very human-like, and I had an idea for some characters that were half human, half something else, but they were still witches, and I've sort of stumbled upon this, and this is what I'm going to be using today. Okay, this is the plan for today. And the whole idea of these this clan of witches is they live very independently from everybody else. So they live very independently, and they prefer to live independently because they have very macabre practices, which people may or may not appreciate. But for me, when I talk about witchcraft, or I think about witchcraft, it's not a romanticized version, it's a very, very dark version of it. So no cute witches flying around in broomsticks or, you know, with bubbling cauldrons. I mean, when you look at my previous images, I suppose they do look quite romanticized. So I drew this a few weeks ago. They do look quite romanticized, but, you know, in West Africa we have a lot of snakes. I mean, that's a heart dripping blood, so it's a fresh heart. I hope YouTube doesn't censor this. That's a hand. Human or beast, we don't know. But those are all like, you can always know that anything that's red and sticky will most likely be like in a bottle is blood. So blood is plays a very crucial role. I think I should have included a trigger warning at the start of this video. Okay, so I'm just going to start sort of getting this all together. Please feel free to ask questions and feel free to ask questions and feel free to chat. Just, you know, if you want to blow up the chat, that's completely fine. But this was very, very crucial today, so I don't know where I'm going to put. So that's a her, by the way. I know it may or may not look thingy, but that's a her. That's a female. I just want to get some. Okay. Get my glue sticks out. I absolutely abhor using glue sticks, but I can see why they're crucial, but I just find them very tedious to use. And if anyone is working on anything at the moment, let me know, or just if you want to share, that's fine. Eric, when you create a world, do you have names in mind? Not yet, no. So basically, I sort of have an idea of what her name is going to be, but I don't have an idea of what the name of her world is. But it will come to me as I write it. And I know that sounds very, 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 very impulsive, but it will come to me as I write it. So yeah, sometimes you just have to sit there and start the process, and the names slowly. Is there actually any glue in this? The names slowly come to you. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to leave that there for now. So when I think people think that, oh, you know, they have to plot everything out, sometimes that can be more. I want to say that can be more counterproductive, because you sort of waste your time and you change your mind and you do sort of many different things that don't help the process at all, rather than just putting pen to paper or fingers to laptop and just typing. So the whole point of this world is they are supposed to have access to certain plants and just poisonous plants that the others don't. So they have their own entire ecosystem. This is one of those days where I wish I had kit scissors, because this is absolutely too big. That's fine. And if anyone is working on anything at the moment or in particular, and you'd like to share, please do share. It's always great to have all these wonderful discussions and see what everyone's working on. It makes me feel like I'm not the only one who's a bit, you know, in my own world. Hi, Atomic Elf, how are you? And one thing I would say is, never be afraid to just try silly ideas out, no matter how silly they may look, because some of the ideas I've thought were silly. I think my nails are too long for this. Some of the ideas I thought were silly have been some of the best ideas I've ever had, because I've just leaned into my creativity and my somewhat kooky ideas, and I've dreamt up all these characters and all these scenarios in my head. So never be afraid to do that. So now I just want the best way to have great ideas is to have lots of ideas. Exactly. Just keep the ideas, just keep coming, and just keep listening to them. Have you always written in longhand with fountain pen? Yes, I have. Since I was a kid, I've always written in longhand with a fountain pen. I think I find the scratchy sounds. I think I find the sound of the nib across the paper very satisfying for some odd reason. So I find the sound just very comforting, and I like ink on paper, and I just like ink anyway. And I like pens, so. But I don't like pens that have that are too fat. Okay, that's actually quite a skinny one. But you know the tip, I don't like fat tips. I like very slim, very thin tips. And I think you just write better with them. Well, I think I've had access to fountain pens since I was a kid, so that's just my reality. Okay. Just gonna do some. I'm at that stage now where I've got so many pens across my desk. It's absolutely insane. Hi, Tareem. Yes, I'm fine. I'm glad you're able to join the live stream. I'm just doing some world building today. And if anyone has any wonderful ideas or wants to talk about what they're working on, if you're working on any projects, whether fantasy or poetry or whatever you're working on, please feel free to share if you want to. It looks very interesting. Are you one for soft or hard world building or magic systems? The drawing seems to veer towards folklore. Yeah, this is more. So this is more about. So obviously this is all around my Heathen series, and I'm taking inspiration from what witchcraft is depicted like where I'm from in West Africa. So I was just explaining previously that West Africa is very dark in terms of witches. It's not romanticized and like it is in other parts of the world. And when I was younger, I used to get a lot of stories about witches and all sorts. And it was always very, for me, I mean, it was supposed to be a bit scary, but it was always very interesting. But I like this image because it has very Day of the Dead vibes, but at the same time, it reminds me of images I saw depicting witches where I'm from as well. So obviously, I'm Nigerian, but at the same time, I like it because it's very dark and very morbid and very macabre as well. And I like that because it depicts the witch as well. Yes, this is currently my favourite. The only issue is it's completely silent. It makes no noises whatsoever. But I'm glad you have almost 50. I'm hoping to do a bit of a shopping, go shopping soon, I hope. But things have gotten quite expensive where I am. So we do have to be careful with our spending because it's all a bit out of control now. Vintage pens are fun. I have one from the early 60s. Oh, lovely! Yeah, all mine are fairly new. I did inherit some from my grandfather, but I left them all at home, which was very intelligent. So I don't have any with me here, but I'd rather not have them here. Just keep them safe at home, so they're not sort of I'm not losing them or whatever. But yeah, but this is quite sturdy when I like it, and I love the nib. The nib is absolutely amazing. But it's very it picks up the ink very in a very strange way, and it starts with too much, and then it ends with too little. So it's not an even flow. It's not consistent. Oh, I'm supposed to say this as well. Please don't forget to like this live stream as well. Apparently, I'm supposed to say that, and I keep forgetting to say it, you know? I'm really bad with that. Really, it would be so interesting to know where I could get some vintage ones. Someone came on my live stream on Monday and said she has a glass one. I do want one of the glass ones. I have seen them here, but they just don't seem very. They don't seem too great here. So, but I am on the hunt for a glass one. I am going to London fairly soon, and I think that would be a perfect place to search for like lots of lovely pens and nibs and stuff. Because they're still very much in demand there. Some people prefer to use them, so I think I'm going to go to a specialist shop and get some. Oh, they have pensions. Oh, that sounds like heaven. Oh, goodness. That sounds absolutely amazing, but I would just get lost. It'd be like, I don't know, going to a shoe shop or something. Yeah, this is so. And if you look at this as well, it just all the ink just flows off it. It doesn't keep any ink. It's absolutely fascinating. It does not keep any ink. All the ink just comes off. There's absolutely nothing on it. Can you see? I mean, if someone can explain that, that'd be amazing. I do need to change my ink supply though. Yeah, I don't use fountain pens much. I just use dip pens and nibs. So I don't really use fountain pens. I do have a couple, but I just find them quite fussy, and when they dry, I'm not very good with maintenance with maintenance, and when they dry, it can go. It just gets really annoying. So I just prefer nibs. That's why I just prefer nibs and bottles of ink. Kakimori dip pen. Ah, interesting. Let's just write that down. Because once this chat goes away, it really goes away. And I find that YouTube never adds the chat in the uploaded live stream. Kakimori. I'll be sure to check that out. Oh, they have a unique looking nib that looks like a bullet. Oh, lovely. That sounds interesting. I'll definitely check them out. Yeah, I think my best bet will be London because these items are considered luxuries, so London I think will be will be the best bet to get something because stationery and that sort of thing is very popular in London because there are many pen collectors and that people who love stationery and a lot of my friends, their parents, their fathers all use fountain pens and nib pens. So. Reviews on YouTube. Well, that'll be yeah. I think YouTube has a review for everything now, which is amazing. It's becoming a one big search engine. Yeah, I will have a look. That sounds really good. I love getting all these good recommendations. Oh yeah, sometimes the internet can be such a pain. is part of a secret mechanic of functions and actual purpose. So this is just to say that sometimes having an image, try and make sure you get a licensed image, is better than trying to draw, because I'm sure some of you have seen my success with drawing. My my drawings don't always come as expected because I'm just not an artist. I was actually much better at this when I was a kid. Now, not so much. So that was the wagon lady. I did it quite a few weeks ago now, and I've been thinking about her. Sounds a bit odd. I've been thinking about her for a few years. But she serves a purpose in the books. And when I say I've been thinking about her, I've had ideas about her for a long time, and I wasn't sure if I would be able, if they would make any sense. But then the more I wrote, the bigger, the more of a role she played, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I'm really excited about writing her into the story. And then I have obviously this character who is, this sort of resembles a shop that sells, if you want to perform certain types of like rituals and that sort of thing, you come here and they have, I don't want to say on the live stream because I might get banned by YouTube or something, but they have certain things that will help in terms of potions and whatnot. So I am quite happy about that. So this went pretty well. I did actually draw a character here because I wanted the character to be a bit of a mystery, if you see what I mean. And then this is someone else I did a few weeks ago, and this is someone who lives in the woods. Now, interestingly, I've since changed his name because the name suited another character better. So, yeah, it's very interesting. But world building, I think if you just learn to take time and just think about your characters and just maybe get images from magazines, which would, if you're writing a normal book, like a normal fantasy, a normal book, then magazines would be alright. If you're writing the sort of fantasies I write, magazines will have nowhere near what you need to, to world build. So sometimes you have to troll the internet and try to find images, which is fun. And I think this depiction of this character was good. And I think the eyes, you can't really tell if this is going to be a good encounter or a bad encounter because, yeah, I mean, she's a, there's a skeletal face, but her eyes, or its eyes, are very dead, which I think does point to a negative encounter. But yeah. So I've sort of plotted this particular character out. I am very happy with that. Obviously, this character and her people represent a very dark clan of witches. So I'm very happy about that because this is sort of what I wanted. And I've sort of, just by looking at her, or looking at that image, I've just been able to write a rough draft of what she is and what she and her people represent, or what she and her witches represent. So I think it's very, very important to have an image sometimes it's hard, and this image could be a pair of old leather shoes, it doesn't matter. But you just need to be able to look at something and visualize and just write. So just from that, I've been able to sort of get an idea of her name, where they're located, just by looking at the image, what part of the world they're located in, and just their modus operandi, how they operate, and what they're like, what they're actually about, So yeah, very, very important. And just a bit of a backstory about how the other witches and warlocks in their world feel about them, which is not always a good thing, but hey ho. Okay. Comments. Atomic elf. One trick is to make a grid on a page of 3 by 3 or 4 by 4. Ah, okay. Yes, I've heard. I was going to try creating AI images. I just haven't found an AI like website I prefer, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think I might start using AI in future to generate the images, because getting the licensing and making sure it's the right license, and is the license you're getting from the actual creator it's a bit of a nightmare. And what's happening online at the moment is people generating AI images that are now under copyright as well. So it's very, very, very confusing. So I'd rather just generate my own image via AI, and AI is getting increasingly accurate as well. But I think this actually, although I got a license for it, this might actually be AI. You'd be really surprised now, because there's lots of strange things going on. Microsoft Copilot. Oh, I will check that out. I'm going to write that down. Well, if anyone wants to share any stories they're working on, please do share. So it's interesting. I'm very excited about these last two characters I've worked on, this one and the previous, the wagon lady, because it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I wanted another group of witches to join the world, but I wasn't really sure what they were going to be about and who they were until I actually saw this image. So I'm very happy with that. Oh, you had a dream about people that look like this. Oh dear. You're not having very good dreams, are you? I rarely have a dream, and it's such a... So yeah, thank you, Mentor. Best free one at the moment is Copilot. I've written that down. If you're seeing people who look like this or having dreams about them, I'm sorry, but maybe I'm having too much coffee. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's not very good. I'm sorry about that. Luckily, I rarely ever dream, and I'm so happy, because I think people just seem to have more nightmares and than dreams these days. And I don't know if it's too much coffee, not enough coffee, too much stress, but I rarely dream. And I am grateful for that. I just have a nice, peaceful sleep. So thank you for the Microsoft Copilot tip as well. Um, yeah, never drink much coffee or witch doctors will be in them. I don't know, but luckily I've never had dreams about witch doctors because I think I would be in a very fragile state of mind. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, I just have I don't dream about anything. So and I sleep like a baby as well. I mean I'm a light sleeper, but I do sleep very well. I'm not. Some people find it hard to fall asleep. I fall asleep really easily, and I can sleep through the night. So I am eternally grateful for that. That sort of looks like a tulip, and that's not meant to look like a tulip, but Oh, okay. So, good or bad, I always write my dreams down because they usually give me inspiration for future stories. I am happy to get all my inspiration from the world around me. I don't need my inspiration coming into my dreams because that would be a nightmare. So I'm very grateful to just have normal, like just go to sleep, wake up, and not have any dreams at all. Um, yes, I'm very grateful for that. But I think I just get so much inspiration from the world around me. I think if my dreams started acting as inspiration as well, I think I'd have a breakdown of some sort. That sort of looks like a tulip, which it shouldn't look like, but okay. Okay, my dreams are usually inspired by real life stuff, but it gives me ideas to turn them into a more open fantasy adventure, overwriting them as they really are, if that makes sense. Yeah, I do see what you mean, but at least they're inspired by real life stuff, which is good. So as long as they're not dark, which I guess would be a bit traumatic, but as long as they're not dark, that sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. But with me, in terms of my inspiration, I get my inspiration just from walking around, just from existing. It's very, very strange. Uh, Absolutely strange. But if anyone wants me to make any videos about my processes, please let me know. Because I know I did write quite a few people. Yes, you got shot with an arrow. I think that did come through. Atomic Elf. One of them shot me with an arrow. The other one looked right through me, as if they were in a trance. So yeah, the messages did come through. I'm surprised you can't see them, but I think, yeah, your internet is definitely acting up. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me today. I will be back on Friday evening for a writing session this time, not world building, just a writing session. And I hope you can join. It will be on Friday at the same time, 6 p.m. GMT, and it'll be roughly for like longer than an hour. But today was going to be a very short write with me because I just wanted to plot this character out. Fantastic. Okay, Manta, I hope you really like the books. I really enjoyed writing them. And I will see you all on Friday evening if you're around. And if you're not, you can always watch the replay. Okay, see you on Friday. Have a lovely evening. Okay, release.